Hey friends, hey, it's your girl Bengali Black, and thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Natural Typical Reviews, a show where I teach you how to redirect money you are already going to spend into the black economy. So guys, if you've been on this journey with me, then you know I've been talking a lot about hashtag Blackout July, and guess what? It's finally July! Guys, I'm so excited to know how you've been implementing black spending into your lives. For me, as you know, I have chosen several products out of the black community that I have made mainstays, and I really want to know if you guys made a commitment too. So go ahead and leave a comment below and let me know how you've been implementing black spending or redirecting your money into the black economy. I'm really curious. But you know what? I'm not even going to keep you waiting because I'm so excited for today's episode. So let's go ahead and start the show. So on today's episode, I really want to discuss the idea of Nia, which means purpose. In this revolution, we all have our own individual purposes. For me, that's educating my friends and family on Black history while encouraging them to take part in cooperative economics. But your role in this revolution could be something completely different. Either way, our collective purpose is to restore our community to its traditional greatness. And in order to do that, we really have to clean house. We need to shed all the old ideas about us and start inputting new ones. And in order to do that, we really need to examine the stereotypes that keep us in these tiny little boxes. So on today's history lesson, I'm going to take you through the origin of some of the most damaging stereotypes. So guys, without further ado, let's jump into some history, shall we? It's out with the old and in with the new. My mom always used to say, you clean up what you mess up. And even though we aren't the ones who made this mess, it's still our duty to clean it up. So let's get our house in order. We have to admit that the foundation of our entire existence has been governed by white society for a very long time. So it's time to break down those walls and build new ones, starting with the negative stereotypes. Most of the stereotypes that typecast us in real life stem from the minstrel show circuit. This popular form of entertainment created small boxes for society to squeeze us into. In the 19th century, slavery was booming and white society was thriving on the backs of our ancestors. While many Caucasians were enjoying economic success, there was a large population of poor and working class whites who felt like outsiders. White supremacy had told them that anyone with pale skin should be immensely successful, but we all know that's not how an economy works. So these poor and working class whites had to find a new way to profit off of our ancestors, and through their white tears, minstrel shows were born. Minstrel shows consisted of white actors using burnt corks to color their faces black and imitate enslaved Africans. Through this disgusting display, several fictional characters emerged. There was Jim Crow, a nimble and witty slave who loved to sing spirituals, Sambo, a happy-go-lucky carefree slave who was irresponsible and lazy, the Sapphire, the angry black woman who drove men away with her attitude, the Jezebel, the promiscuous black woman who could never keep her clothes on, and the Mandingo with the huge penis that seduced all the women he crossed paths with. Although eventually many of the characters phased out in popular culture, the ideas left behind by them still haunt us to this day. The most popular minstrel show character that has endured the longest is the infamous Mammy. The Mammy was an obese, non-sexualized older woman who took great pride in her job of serving her white family. Mammy cooked, cleaned, and raised white children, even if it meant she had to neglect her own. She was always portrayed as smiling and enjoying her life as a slave, and she was always there with open arms and a comforting bosom. Additionally, she preferred her white family over her black family. It's no wonder that white people loved her, as she symbolized the content black woman who was honored to be chosen as their slave. But there's much evidence to suggest that this fictionalized woman never even existed. So let's go ahead and break that down. For starters, not all plantations could afford house servants because the field is where they made most of their money. Evidence suggests that black women running the entire white household was a practice that was popularized after emancipation. Additionally, enslaved house servants were usually skinny and young because they were severely malnourished. The slave diet was very poor as it lacked fresh veggies or protein, so there was not a lot of obesity going around the plantation. This poor diet led to a high death rate amongst the enslaved, as the average lifespan for our ancestors was only about 36 years old. So why did they invent this character in the first place? Well, Mammy became popularized during the antebellum period when Northern abolitionists started criticizing the treatment of the enslaved, but especially highlighting the sexual exploitation of the women. The Mammy figure represented a non-sexual woman who white men looked to as a kind auntie or grandmother, not a young attractive girl who a grown man would take advantage of. Although she was a fictional character, her popularity created a new trend that implied that black women were only fit for domestic work. After emancipation, many jobs were not available to black people, but one that was always open was servitude. During this era, many poor and working class whites who could not afford slaves were suddenly able to afford servants, and thus the rise of black housekeepers skyrocketed. Mammy endorsed products such as cleaners and food items became very popular during the 1900s. She represented a romanticized version of the South where blacks and whites lived harmoniously. Although slavery phased out, having a mammy on a product was like delivering a servant in a box. It was trendy and advertisers leaned into it heavily. The most famous mammy in America is of course Aunt Jemima. Once again, the origins of this character can be traced back to minstrel shows. Her character originated in a song created by an African-American minstrel performer named Billy Cursands. Cursands was the most famous black comedian of his day and appealed to both black and white audiences. Although many of us would see his negative portrayal of us as cooning, which it was, his black audience noted his subtle inclusion of African folklore that was often lost on his white audience. He created the character of Aunt Jemima, and it was so loved that when Chris Rutt saw it, he decided to name his new self-rising flour after the character. He eventually sold his mix to the Davis Milling Company, who devised a plan to market the new product. Their first step was to hire an actress to play Aunt Jemima. Nancy Green, a housekeeper and former slave, nailed the audition. She made her debut in 1893 at the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago. Standing next to the world's largest barrel of flour, Nancy made pancakes and told stories which caused a rise in the pancake mix consumption. Consumers, however, did not care about that flour. What they cared about is Nancy and her portrayal of Aunt Jemima. She helped popularize pancakes as a mainstay breakfast item because prior to her role as Aunt Jemima, flour was only popular in the winter. Although she helped make the Aunt Jemima brand successful, she was never properly compensated. She died as a housekeeper, although she had signed a lifetime contract with the Quaker Oats Company. Upon her death, they refused to even pay for her headstone, let alone properly compensate her family. Although Quaker Oats had numerous complaints to remove the Aunt Jemima character for at least 100 years, they still refused, until 2020 when it suddenly became trendy. So you see, if there was no hashtag or social media outrage, these brands would have been happy to keep negative images of us on their packaging for the next 100 years. That's why we can't trust them or anyone else to issue change in our community. We need to clean house ourselves, starting with our own individual spaces. So today I'm reviewing a brand that's dedicated to cleaning your house, your spirit, and your energy. Guys, I think it's finally time for a review. In order to implement black spending into our lives, we need to find products that are comparable to things we already use. So I'm rating these products in 3 categories: website, how it fares in comparison to websites where I usually buy products, overall appearance, how it looks compared to similar products that I already use, and functionality, how did it work? Up for review, Honeydipped Essentials. Honeydipped Essentials is a self-care product line designed to enhance your mood, reduce stress, and restore your mind and body through nourishing and revitalizing natural ingredients. It was created by Ashley Goodlock, who has devoted her life to promoting self-care. Through travel and research, she has created a line that is rooted in empowerment and sharing values that promote consciousness, transparency, and honesty. All Honeydipped products are sourced with top-tier organic ingredients and inspired by Ashley's love of handmade, luxurious goods. Guys, we're gonna go ahead and jump into that review in just a second, but before we do, I need to give a quick disclaimer. I am not a sponsor, an advertiser, or a paid affiliate of any of the products or brands I show you here on Not Your Typical Reviews. I am an unbiased consumer who spent my own hard-earned black dollars on these products just to bring it to the light for our community. So first up, website. So guys, I went ahead and logged onto the Honeydipped Essentials website so we can all take a look. So when I first log on, the first thing I see are some cleaning products, some skin products, some wax melts, all natural ingredients. I'm getting a strong sense of calm as soon as I come here, so I kind of know what to expect already. But if I didn't know what to expect already, the first thing it says is give your home and your skin the care they deserve. So I know Ashley's priorities are self-care right away. As I scroll down, I see it says, at Honeydipped Essentials, we believe in nourishing and protecting your sacred spaces with the finest all-natural organic products. So I'm a real big believer in home is where the heart is, home is where your peace is. So I'm kind of already feeling a strong vibe that this is exactly where I need to be. And if I didn't feel that already, I see Ashley sitting here mixing some ingredients in this picture, and they're all natural. So I kind of get a feel for who she is and what she believes in, and I'm here for it, honestly. But you know, cleaning products are something that we need all the time. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with that. So going to the cleaning products tab, the first things I see are a gift wrap option. So you can totally purchase this as a gift for someone if you know someone who's really natural and holistic. Me, myself, personally, I consider myself a little hood and holistic, you know, because I still gets to it. But, you know, I do like all natural ingredients. So, you know, keep that in mind if you want to buy your girl a gift. But as I scroll down, I see that it says Honeydipped Essentials Cleaning Products Bundle, so you could actually try out multiple products at one time. She has a wax warmer as well as botanical wax melts. In case you never used those are just like the really good smelling waxes that you melt over a candle or a strong light. And they really make your house smell good and feel very peaceful. And at the bottom, you see that she has a sage and citrus multi-purpose cleaner. Now that really sticks out to me because I grew up in a sage household. My mother was true to, you know, her sage, her Florida water. She always wanted to make sure that our space was clean, not only physically, but you know, spiritually, energetically. So that's something that's already standing out to me as something that I want to try. So guys, I think we've seen enough of this website and I'm super excited to try the product. So let's move on to overall appearance. So guys, I have my Honeydipped Essentials box in front of me and the first thing I see is it says, take good care. There's all kinds of plants and natural ingredients decorated on the box. This is Honeydipped Essentials. I'm in the right place. There's also a fragile handle with care sticker, so I wonder what that's about. Let's go ahead and pop this open. Oh wow, guys, inside this box, the smells are phenomenal. You need to buy this box just for the fragrance alone. Oh my goodness, I can't even describe the smell. It smells amazing. But you know what? Let's go ahead and get into the contents of the box. Okay, so I'm taking out this pamphlet that Ashley has sent us, and there's all kinds of information about the natural ingredients that her products are made of in there. And then there's this eco-friendly glass bottle, which is the Sage and Citrus Multi-Purpose Cleaner. It comes in a glass bottle, so that's why the front packaging said handle with care. They didn't want you to break the glass, but that's very eco-friendly. Additionally, I have these delicious wax melts, which are also sage and citrus, and they smell phenomenal. I told you guys I'm a huge fan of sage, like I'm a sage house up in here, so this really resonates with me. And of course, I got the rose and wildflower tea bags for your bath tea bags. They're really cute. It comes in its own canvas tea bag, and I'm super excited to try these products. So let's go ahead and jump into functionality. Okay guys, I have this clear glass bowl filled with warm water to simulate the bath because although I love you, you can't come in the bathtub with me. And here I have my bath tea bag, and you can just go ahead and pop this tea bag right in the warm water by itself, but I don't want to do that because I want to use this in multiple doses. So I'm going to open this up. Now, as you can see, it's like some rock salt and some flowers, and you can go ahead and sprinkle that straight into your tub like this. But me, I prefer an easier cleanup. So I found a hack that I'm gonna share with you guys, and it just requires a wig cap. Now, if you got one of these laying around, which I know you probably do, just grab it, rinse it out really good, and then put your salts and your tea bag in there. Make your own mini tea bag. You pop it right in the tub, it gets the job done, and then you can just take it out for super, super easy cleanup. I love it. Now on to the wax melt. Now, you know, this is a simple concept. You just grab a wax melt, and as you can see, there's like a little citrus on the top, which is so cute. It's like made of wax, but you know, this is like citrus and sage, so it's cute decoration, and I personally love watching it melt. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this into the warmer. I just want to note quickly that I did source this on the official Black Wall Street app, and if you'd like to see my review for that platform, you can visit the links below. But I will be leaving a review. Remember, as you try products, definitely leave a review. You can see that it's starting to turn liquid, and I can assure you that it smells phenomenal. You should definitely try these. It's so relaxing. I just love the smell. It's so calming. So as you see, this is the last thing, the multi-purpose cleaner, and silly Bengali, she made a huge mess. That's no good. So we're gonna have to clean that up. So I'm gonna spray some of this and get this sponge to work. And look how easy it's cleaning up. No residue, no greasiness, no particles left behind. A little bit went a long way, and it does smell good. I enjoy it. So look at that. Look how easy the cleanup was. Yes, multi-surface cleaner. But we got to try it out on the glass because it says it's a glass cleaner too. And I have a lot of glass in my house. As you can see, as soon as I sprayed, it started melting down. And the first stroke, it did pretty good. I've been using Windex for years, so I never even thought about getting a all-natural glass cleaner. But honestly, if it does the same job and it's safer, why not? So I'm just going ahead and wiping off all this toothpaste that I smeared across this because I want to see how strong of a cleaner this was. And as you can see, wow, it did an amazing job cleaning this glass. Look at that. Who is that beautiful girl? Voila, cheese. So guys, let's go ahead and get into those final thoughts on Honeydipped Essentials, starting with the multi-purpose sage and citrus cleaner. So the cleaner cleans a multitude of surfaces. It could clean my glass table, it could clean my mirror, it could clean my windowsill, it could clean my counters, it could clean my floor. I really appreciate the efficiency. I am all about an all-in-one cleaner. I really like to condense space, so if I can get one product to do 10 jobs, that works for me. Also, I appreciated her eco-friendly packaging because I know that plastic is very harmful to the environment and to marine life. So I think it's definitely, a positive that she did away with plastic and used glass. I mean, it is, a heavy bottle, but, you can reuse it, and that's what it's all about, repurposing things. The smell of it smelled really good. However, there was a strong vinegar smell at times, and that faded for me after a while. I don't mind vinegar because I use it on my produce, I use it on my body, I drink it. So, I know that vinegar has a lot of holistic properties in it. And I told you I'm hood and holistic, so that worked for me. But if you're sensitive to a vinegary smell, then maybe you shouldn't try that. But I personally enjoyed it. So if you can tolerate that, it is all natural. It's gonna be a little different than your Lysol or your Fabuloso, but I really liked it. So that was a plus for me. The sage melts, the sage and citrus melts. I already told you guys I grew up in a sage household. Like I'm a sage cleanser. I believe in cleaning your home and creating a space of peace. And I really love those sage and citrus melts. I mean, besides like the smell and the fragrance, they really do create like a very peaceful environment and make my house just a pleasant place to be. Like when I'm trying to get something done, get something creative on the table, I'll light up one of those citrus wax melts, and that really, really does some positive things. So I definitely recommend them. As far as the tea bag, I loved the smell of it. Oh my gosh. The tea bag is what was making the box smell phenomenal. Definitely get you a tea bag. The only thing about the tea bag is that it comes in a giant tea bag, and she didn't send little individual ones or a reusable bag for that, so I had to make my own, which is the hack I showed you with the stocking cap. And it didn't matter to me, it got the job done. But like I said, I'm all about the cleanup. I didn't want to have to like scoop out the flowers, so that's definitely something to keep in mind when you buy that. However, I would recommend it off the smell alone, and when I took a bath with it, it really made my bath so relaxing. It complemented my ginger and clay Epsom salt, which I use faithfully, and it was really, really good. So I would highly, highly recommend getting you a bath tea bag if you really want to relax and do some meditation. It's really, really efficient. So as far as the Honeydipped Essentials brand as a whole, I'm gonna have to rate it a mainstay. I loved it, and I'm gonna keep using it and incorporating it into my life. So guys, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. So guys, we're coming to the end of today's episode, and I just want to thank you so much for continuing to support me and share this journey with me week after week. It really means so much. If you know me and you've been following me for a while, you know that I don't shy away from anything that is hard to talk about. I put everything on Front Street. And just in the spirit of full transparency, I want to tell you guys about my own journey to getting my house in order. And of course, I'm talking about my mental health. So about a year ago, I was suffering from a very severe depression, and this depression had been going on for many, many years. I didn't recognize it as being depression at the time, but my anxiety was through the roof and it was really causing me to become very down on myself. It really hit a severe downward spiral after college when I got out into the workforce and, I wasn't making the money that I needed to make, especially with student loans calling me over and over and over, and I'm making minimum wage as a college graduate. I just was not able to cope. Like, finances will do it to you. That'll take you down the quickest. But the long of the short was I was not in a good place. And not only was my mind deteriorating, so was my physical health. Because of this and because I didn't have the support that I needed, I really felt like I wanted to give up on life. I wanted to kill myself. And a lot of days I went to sleep thinking I was not going to wake up or I was not going to make it to the next day. I didn't even plan out my future because I didn't plan on being here. That's how bad it had gotten. And right at the lowest point of my depression, somebody who was very close to me, who I loved very much, committed suicide. And it really was a wake-up call to me. Because even though I was grieving this person that I cared about so much, and it was so unexpected that, I still had these feelings of wanting to kill myself. And going through that experience really highlighted where I was in my life. I knew that if I did not get the help that I needed, I was really not going to be here. And I really had to discover my own Nia, my own purpose, and figure out a way to make this life livable. And that's when I really went to therapy, and that journey almost took me down as well. Because if you are looking for a therapist right now, you know that it is not as easy as just going online and finding a person. You have to find someone you're compatible with. And unfortunately, a lot of these therapists, they look at it as a job and maybe not necessarily like to help people. So I was meeting a lot of these people. Like, I had a therapist cancel on me multiple times after I had taken a test that rated severely depressed and suicidal. She kept canceling on me. And I just was like, yo, if a therapist don't give a damn about me, who will? But luckily, I did not give up. Like, my friends, my family, the small amount of people that I did share this journey with, they did not let me give up. They stayed on my back. And of course, I found a really great therapist, a young woman who changed my entire life and helped me see, what I was missing out on. And now, that I'm in a good and healthy place and, I'm coping with this journey and managing my depression, I'm in a much better space. And although I had to suffer through a lot of trauma and grief to get here, I appreciate it so much more. So guys, I share this with you to say that if you're experiencing these thoughts or feelings, you are not alone. And getting your house in order really means getting your mental health in order first. So if you need resources or anything, or you're on a journey to find a therapist, visit the links below. I'm going to put some really good links below so that can help you on your journey until you find somebody that can really take over in your mental health journey. But also, feel free to hit me up, DM me. If not me, go to a friend, go to a family member. Just start sharing. You have to open up. I guarantee when you start talking about this, you'll find out that more people have experienced this than you even imagined. So guys, don't give up on yourself. You got to keep hope alive. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap the show. And I just want to say, guys, I thank you for always tuning in. And guys, I love us for real. So I'm your host, Bengali Black, and I'm going to check you later.